Hey everyone, Matron here bringing you another Starcraft 2 commentary, this time a best of 3 series, Game 1, between MorroW spawning as the blue Zerg, and his opponent the pink Protoss Knutzi. This will be semi-final action, again a best of 3, in the Go 4 SC2 Cup Championship, so both players hoping to win this best of 3, punch a ticket to the finals, and eventually be crowned champion of this tournament. But gonna have to go through a good opponent here. We have MorroW, who recently race switched over from Terran over to Zerg. Has been playing it for a few months now, so getting a little bit used to the mechanics of the Zerg. Again, Zerg plays so much differently than the other two races, but a lot of players are going to Zerg now. They really think it gives them a higher ceiling in terms of skill, as Zerg tends to be a higher APM race, and if you're able to make it into the end game, it's quite powerful against Protoss and Terran alike. So we saw TLO race swapped from Terran over to Zerg, saying that he felt like he could do a lot more with it, and now we see MorroW as well. MorroW coming in with this Overlord, and it looks like with the angle he's taking here, he's going to be able to be spotted by Knutzi. Knutzi immediately pulling back that probe and going right for the eastern base of MorroW. So MorroW not too afraid of showing that Overlord relatively early. A lot of times we'll see players veer off at the last second so that they do not show that scout. See Knutzi going for a gateway and gas, and MorroW not going for that early hatchery, though he does have an Overlord position there just to make sure he's not being cannoned off or there's no pylon going down. He's going for a pool first build with an extractor. So this extractor came a little bit early. We could see speedlings, perhaps even banelings as well. Again, typically the Zerg wants to get up that early expansion at the natural, but oftentimes if they know that they are in close positions and they feel early pressure, or they just want to be a little bit safer, they will get up that spawning pool first. It's going to allow them to get out Zerglings. And there's actually a little bit of debate right now about what the best economic build is. There's one school of thought that the 11 pool and then 18 hatch build is actually a little bit better for your economy. And the reason that might be the case is the pool allows you to get that queen out a little bit earlier, and then you're going to get that first inject. You're going to get one extra round of inject before you would if you went for like a 15 hatch and a 15 pool or 16 pool. And the early spawning pool also allows you to get out those Zerglings and prevent that probe from doing any sort of extra scouting, as we see 4 Zerglings coming out for MorroW, and now finally coming down with about a 21 hatch here. So definitely getting that expansion up like all good Zergs want to do, but doing it a little bit late and getting that spawning pool out along the Zergling speed. So he's going to be quite safe. We see him going all over the place with these Zerglings. He wants to make sure that there are no proxies hidden in his base, also securing both of these watchtowers in the center, and combined with those Overlords placed around the edge of his base, he's going to be able to see most everything. He will see this probe moving up into his base, so with those 2 Zerglings, he's going to be able to get a bead on that and prevent it from doing any more scouting. Knutzi is going to be seeing the spawning pool working there, as you can see it gyrating back and forth there, so he will know that speedlings are out on the field shortly. So he's going to know that Stalker is not going to be able to kite those speedlings, and it looks like he's getting out Zealots and a sentry here to block off that ramp, also placing a pylon down, offering a smaller choke point, so you can get 2 or 3 Zealots at the bottom of this ramp and choke off, and it also provides 2 choke points, one at the bottom of the ramp and then one at the top, very small. We see this Zealot is in held position here, so he won't be moving, and these 2 sentries and the Zealot are going to keep those Zerglings from doing any sort of scouting. They were not able to make it up the ramp at all, so I do not believe that that MorroW was able to see the extra 2 gates here. He does have an Overlord position in the back of the base of Knutzi, so he can suicide that in there at some point, and he could find those extra 2 gates. We see MorroW has prepared a second queen here, actually 3 queens, and getting 2 of them down here on the low ground, so they will be able to defend each other, perhaps get a transfuse, and also start spreading creep. Again, depending on your tech path, creep can be so very important. If you go for roaches or hydralisks, you're going to want them on creep. They're going to be able to get into a concave faster, and that's just their optimal DPS shape, is that concave banana type shape. So you really want to fight on that creep, and we see the 3rd queen going to be spreading it along here, throwing down another 2 tumors. So it looks like he will have 3 tumors moving across the field, or perhaps just the 2 here. as he did cancel one, moving it in a different direction. So MorroW spreading creep very well here. He's just about to finish his hive, making 2 evolution chambers, so maybe going for double upgrades for Hydralisks and Roach as well. Looks like we have Hallucination about to finish for Knutzi, so I'll be interested to see what he's going to do with that. A lot of times we do see these Phoenix, and these Phoenix coming out to scout sort of in the mid game for the Protoss player, and he's going to be able to see the lair has finished. He's going to see the Roach Warren going down as well as the 2 evolution chambers, so he's going to know he's going to be facing upgraded Roaches here. Clicking on that Roach Warren, and again just scaring these Overlords a little bit, but Knutzi does not care if that Phoenix goes down, as it is a hallucination, and he's going to get all the information he needs. Now going to be hallucinating a few Zealots, keeping them out in front, right? Going to be tanking some damage for these sentries. It looks like a lot of sentries. He's really going to be able to force field well here. And now we see, I've never really seen Zealots used from hallucination here. Again, you get 2 Zealots per hallucination, so using 2 spells there, and adding a lot of Zealots to this army, and the Zerg player does not have any sort of sight, so he's not going to be able to tell the good Zealots from the bad Zealots. And it'll be interesting to see whether the hallucinated Zealots take a lot of damage here. It looks like they are just keeping this queen over in the corner, so the hallucination is not doing too much right now, but a lot of sentries from range able to keep this ramp force fielded, preventing those Roaches and the queens from coming down and protecting these extra drones. We did have a number of spine crawlers easily focused down by Knutzi as well, and I've never seen all these mass sentries used with those hallucinations at the start. Again, getting sentries out early on, very good for force field. Again, keeping all these Roaches in the main and the queens up there as well. A lot of times you will see players keep their different hatches on different hotkeys so that they can specifically make units out of one hatch so they do not get separated and trapped like this. So MorroW going to have to pull back here. He does have a number of Roaches. If we check the unit tab, it's going to be 11 Roaches and 2 queens. And Knutzi's force is quite large as well, 5 Zealots, 6 Stalkers, and 7 Sentries. So I feel like Knutzi could take this. He does have a superior army, especially with good force fields. Could pick off a Roach or 2 here, and MorroW really wants to fight on this creep so that he can get into a good concave. He can kite a little bit. I do not believe that Roach speed has finished. It looks like it's just starting now. And defending with these Roaches, you really want that speed, especially on the creep. It's going to make it easy to pick off a Zealot and kite backwards, not take too much damage from those Sentries and Stalkers. So MorroW pushing out here, being a little bit aggressive, not necessarily agreeing with this. I think he should pull back at this point, try to establish another base here and get his economy up and running. We see more and more Roaches coming out. Looks like he's getting a 3rd at the southeastern position. So if he's able to hold the 2nd and 3rd here, and Knutzi does not push forward with any sort of aggression, MorroW could get back into this one. Looks like Knutzi is going to respond with 2 robotics facility. So he does see that his opponent is going for Roaches, getting out these Immortals, doing bonus damage against Armored. And again, they will be 3-shotting those Roaches, 145 HP, and taking 50 damage from those Immortals. We do see good upgrades for the Zerg player. He does have the 1-1, also working on the 2nd attack for those Roaches, so they will actually take 4 shots from those Immortals now. But with the superior army, it looks like Knutzi going to be pushing forward, 2,800 minerals versus the 1,200, and MorroW just going to GG. So he sees this force moving out, and maybe he does not want to get crushed here, perhaps save a little bit of his mental edge, and just kind of your gamer's confidence, not wanting to lose this battle, just move on to another game. And we see those hallucinations used by Knutzi in this game, very interesting. He brought a number of hallucinated Zealots, and they tanked a little bit of damage, kept that queen at bay in the back. It was not able to transfuse any of those spine crawlers. And it looks like MorroW just did not make enough units early on to defend against that push. And I wonder if Knutzi will be using hallucination again. I've never really seen somebody use it in an early ground attack like that. But again, hallucination, if you check out that spell, it's going to be creating 2 Zealots, 2 Stalkers if you use it for 100 energy. So you're easily able to mask the size of your army, make it a little bit bigger, and tank some damage with those hallucinated Zealots. Be interested to see how the second game goes, whether MorroW is able to rebound and force a game 3, or whether Knutzi is going to move on to the finals in 2 straight games. I'll go ahead and cast game 2 now, so look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.